Look, I'm here to talk about a company that's made tremendous progress over a 3-year period, and as Paul touched on, being ready for the rebound is exactly how we're positioned. The company's hoping to finish this year with a DFS that's fully executed, a metallurgical test work program which proves we can deliver a really high quality spodumene concentrate to market, all of our material land access approvals in place, and most importantly a mining lease in hand. So when that rebound does come, and I've been in the sector 14 years now in lithium, so I've seen a few of these cycles and I know exactly what's ahead, we're very well positioned. And of course, we've got some tremendous partners who will work with us to take our project forward. So to get started, just the typical disclaimer, read at your leisure please. So just a quick acknowledgement of country. Certainly there's a number of traditional owners in the room. I'd like to point out particularly the Gagara people, been tremendous supporters of our company and importantly our project, and we really look forward to developing a long-term mutually beneficial relationship with them. So I thank them for coming along today. A quick snapshot of the company. I mentioned we're young. We did only list in May of 2021. It's been quite a wild ride on the share price since then. Importantly, it's a tightly held register. There's only 260 million shares on issue. We do have a very significant cash position, 27 million in the bank as of the end of June. That's really important. And that really sees us fully funded all the way through to a final investment decision and beyond next year. We are really prudent on our spend given the current market conditions. But importantly, all the heavy lifting in terms of our project and our project deliverables are very much behind us. We do have some important partners. Partners are important, and we've got Mineral Resources sitting on the register at 10%. We've got a very good working relationship with the MinRes team, and in China, Canmax, for those who don't know, one of the largest downstream lithium hydroxide producers based in Sichuan province, the home of the panda. The board's a solid one. Dr. Chen is in the room, Executive Director, mining engineer by trade, and has been involved in a number of projects over a 40-odd year career. I'm working very closely with Dr. Chen as we close in on completing the DFS, and Hayley Lawrence, a commercial lawyer, and Greg Lilliman, who's very experienced in mining as well. Importantly, we've got a really solid management team across approvals, obviously project finance, and also exploration and project development. So a couple of recent highlights. We have just upgraded the resource, a 43% increase in the total resource at our Mana Lithium project, which is about 100 kilometres from where we're all sitting today, out to the east of Kalgoorlie. A wonderful place to be developing a mine. But we do have a second project up in the Pilbara as well, our Marble Bar Lithium project. Today I'm going to talk about Mana. That's the one that's under formal development. And that's currently sitting at a total resource of just shy of 52 million tonnes. And just bear in mind, we've delivered that resource over about 2.5 years of drilling. So we think there's more to come in terms of the resource, but at 50-odd million tonnes, we've got a standalone project. Significant increase in terms of the indicated resource classification across this resource, and that's really essential as we conclude our DFS and our mine schedule, and gives us increased geological confidence in terms of the ore body. Our metallurgical test work, as those of you would know, without conclusive, solid metallurgical test work, you don't have a project. We have a project. The metallurgy and our total lithium recovery from the run of mine through to the final concentrate is likely to land in that 75 to 78% range. So we've got a terrific ore body, a very low in gangue mineralisation, and most of the iron's captured in the wall rock, which makes our deposit really amenable to ore sorting. And ore sorting, with the advancements in AI, and computer processing speeds, is something you're going to see in a lot of flow sheets going forward. All the irons, most of it's contained in the basalt in the hanging wall, and also in that volcanic gabbro in the footwall. So quite easy to liberate the iron gangue mineralisation. I mentioned we're working closely with the traditional owner group, the Gagara, and working very collaboratively to conclude the native title mining agreement, hopefully in the not too distant future. And that really paves the way for the mining lease to be granted by the end of the year. We have completed some additional exploration. Importantly, I talked about the cash position. We've been incredibly disciplined in this market environment and really well positioned going to next year. The next slide here just shows you the journey we've been on in terms of building the resource over 3 odd years. We came to market with the Marble Bar project. It was a 10 odd million tonne resource, and now we're sitting collectively across both projects close to 70 million tonnes. And we'll be one of few companies come the end of this year that's got a scalable standalone resource, completed DFS and a mining lease. You could count the number of projects on one hand on a global basis, so we're in a great position. Talking about Manna, and this is an aerial photo of hopefully the open pit of the future. What's important here is we own this project wholly. There's no royalty overhang on the project, which gives us great development optionality. It's infrastructure rich. There's an operating rail line operating about 8 kilometres south of the project site, and easy to access. And it's a spodumene dominant ore body. One thing I will say, in my 14 years in the lithium sector, I've come across a lot of lithium projects, and not all of which are spodumene dominant. And what we're looking to process here and produce in the market is a spodumene concentrate. There are 4 or 5 other lithium minerals in most deposits, and ours, thankfully, is a spodumene dominant ore body, and we know that because we've drilled it. 110,000 metres of drilling, about 12 metric tonnes of metallurgical core drilling throughout the deposit. So we've got a very good handle on the geological nature of the asset. I talked about infrastructure location, it's key. Again, there's a lot of good projects on paper, but largely stranded, and we're lucky here. We're 450 odd kilometres from the port of Esperance. We're engaged with the Esperance Port Authority. Great access to the Trans-Australian rail line. We will be using rail, one of the few companies that can use rail to transport their mineral concentrates. We've got fibre optic connections, and we're only an hour from Kalgoorlie, and again, that's super important. We are the second largest resource in the Kalgoorlie lithium province, and our project has scale. Touching on logistics, it is critical. We've put a lot of work into unlocking multiple logistics options for this project in terms of delivering, our metal to market, and we're blessed with multiple pathways. Most importantly, rail provides a big advantage, not only in terms of cost. It results in about a reduced emissions profile of about 200,000 tonnes a year compared to conventional haulage. And also, from a community perspective, less trucks on the road is a good thing in terms of safety. Exploration, this is a quick snapshot here. We really kicked off exploration a couple of years ago in calendar year 22. 46,000 metres, a combination of RC drilling. That was purely extensional drilling. We completed a 60,000 metre campaign last year. That was largely infill. And we just completed an extensional program this year, about 6,000 metres, much smaller. The target of that drilling was really to prove up the fact that the resource remains open to the south. And the results of that came absolutely prove it. We have an outcropping spodumene-bearing pegmatite system, which is important from a mineability perspective. The total strike length now is about 3.2 kilometres, and importantly still open in the northeast, southwest, and at depth. And our land holding, importantly, has increased about 280% since January of last year. One for the geos. We've done a significant amount of geological modelling of the asset. As I said, we are closing in on a DFS that'll be announced to market the back half of this half. And again, the latest round of drilling, that diagram on the right side, shows that the mineralisation still extends to the southwest. We've got a large land holding here, so there's more to come, and we think the resource upside is significant. But what I will say, we've got a project of 50 million tonnes. So we're getting on with defining that project, moving it through a DFS, and ultimately positioning this project for an FID decision in the June quarter of next year. DFS nearing completion. We're working with some great partners around the DFS. It's a conventional whole-of-ore flotation circuit, and metallurgy has proven whole-of-ore flotation is widely adopted and proven kit at scale here in Western Australia. We're working with GR Engineering Services, a lot of experience in building these plants under lump sum turnkey EPC basis. And we're really excited to be working with other partners such as SRK, who are putting a very sharp eye over our costs as well. So when we do announce our DFS to market back half of this year, we'll be doing so with absolute confidence. We will absolutely take broker consensus views in terms of pricing, whilst I've got my own views. I think if any of those who saw Ken's presentation earlier from PMT, I'd agree that the market, when it does tighten up, it'll be projects like ours that will be first and foremost on the radar in terms of development. Land access is important. We've made great progress here across land access for the project site more broadly. We have submitted a mining lease application that went through April of last year. I talked about native title, and again, the work we're doing there, the collaborative work we're doing, and there's a number of miscellaneous licences as well around land access. We will have an airstrip at site. We've done modelling that suggests having a small airstrip close to site is going to be great for turnover, productivity, but importantly cost as well. So those are the type of miscellaneous licences we're working through. So we're hoping to have an announcement with regards to all our material land access approvals out in market in the next quarter. Approvals, we have completed heritage surveys throughout the entire mining lease application area. Certainly no significant sites being identified, and again, that's a testament to the very close relationship that we are trying to build with the Gagara people. This is their land, and we really want a great outcome for them in the long term, not just in terms of the royalty that we will pay as part of the agreement, but also in terms of employment opportunities for the group. Environmental, great progress. We've completed all of our spring, autumn surveys. Great place to be mining, as I mentioned. We don't have a lot of surface water there, so we haven't had any issues with priority 1 species being identified at site. Very different to the Pilbara, I will say. So we're thrilled with the progress there. Our mining proposal and mine closure plans are also well developed, and we'll be submitting those as soon as the mining lease goes to grant a bit later this year. Community is important. We've got a full-time community relations manager, Nicole Stain. I think she's in the audience up the front here. She's been doing some wonderful things, working across both of our project sites and really supporting us and ensuring we have great credibility because trust is earned and it takes time to build trust, and that's been a big focus for us. So I'm a big footy fan, for those of you who don't know, so I'm looking forward to the next competition in Kalgoorlie. We were a sponsor last year, provided some Guernseys for one of the Gagara groups, and looking forward to getting up there a bit later this year. I won't be playing, but I'll be cheering on the sidelines. So just finishing up, this is the milestones ahead. It's been a busy year so far, but more to come. This next 6 months are going to be crucial for us. The metallurgical lock cycle test work will complete shortly. We'll be announcing that to market in the next month or so. We do have an underground mining pre-feasibility study running in parallel with the open pit DFS, and that's purely looking at optimisation. As I said, we haven't drill tested this resource at depth. That will come next year. Exploration results have been announced. We will have a mineral reserve announced together with the DFS later this year. Material approvals will come to a close at the end of this year. Mining lease being in hand, that's going to be an absolutely crucial milestone. We are talking to a lot of partners, as you can imagine. There's tremendous strategic interest in the project, given how de-risked we are. It's crucial. And the DFS, of course, that's the big one, and that'll be out back half of this year. And that really paves the way for us to go through a 6-month funding cycle that will deliver hopefully an FID in the June quarter of next year. So really exciting time. Lots of work to be done, but we've got a great team and importantly, great partners and stakeholders across the business.